In any good organisation, public relations does not operate in a silo. This lecture pod identifies how public relations is linked to other departments within an organisation and how they can work together. A phrase that sums up this kind of whole organisation self-presentation is corporate identity, which is considered to be the way in which an organisation's identity is revealed through behaviour, communications, as well as through symbolism to internal and external audiences. Corporate identity itself is seen as having a boundary-spanning role between the company and its surroundings and plays an important part in ensuring that a corporation's stakeholders see it as credible and legitimate. Working on the inside to manage communication does not simply mean deciding inside the organisation to transmit a single or even a consistent message to the outside. It is about creating linkages or networks that will allow communication to flow to those whom the organisation is already connected to, or to those with whom it wishes to be connected. It is also about being able to detect signals through those networks, which, when better filtered, may result in action to better line up the organisation's activities, policies, and procedures with stakeholder demands. Communicators must be quick on their feet to track changes and respond appropriately, in part by helping employees to understand the implications for their organisation of the challenges their employer faces. This is an educational role, not just an information one, implemented through internal media such as corporate magazines, videos, intranet stories, team briefing material, and team meetings. Public relations departments operate alongside others including marketing, human resources, the legal team, research and development, and operations. These departments are coordinated by a managerial system referred to as the dominant coalition. It comprises a range of representatives from the organisation and in some cases the external environment, and they have the power to determine the organisation's mission and goals. The role of public relations in strategic decision-making is determined by its proximity and access to management. Grunig and Hunt's excellent study suggests the need for public relations to be in the dominant coalition. This strategic positioning benefits both the organisation and the profession of public relations. However, reality is different. And when asked to decide which roles should be in the dominant coalition, public relations roles were least likely to be put in the position of power. At a department level, there are 3 other functions that relate closely to and in some cases compete with public relations for resources and a place in the dominant coalition. These are marketing, legal, and human resources. There is common ground between marketing and public relations, and in some organisations, the 2 functions are combined. But these natural synergies can create confusion. While public relations and marketing may take a consumer focus, their relationship with consumers comes from a different place. Marketing depends on consumers to purchase goods and services and deliver profit through an exchange process, whereas public relations sees consumers as one part of a complex environment. Marketing is focused on customers, whereas public relations also considers non-customer publics such as employees, government, communities, and shareholders. Public relations is critical when marketing activities and sales are affected by public opinion or crisis events, and in some cases, marketing activities can cause crises. From a structural perspective, public relations academics argue for a separate and centralised public relations department that optimises organisational goals. In the real world, public relations is often merged with marketing. And you can see from this chart the different functions and where they lie within the marketing and public relations spectrum. We have some activities such as market assessment, customer segmentation, customer relations, product development, client servicing, telemarketing, sales, point of sales promotions and advertising that are viewed as purely marketing activities. And then on the far right-hand side, we have publications, events, lobbying, community relations, media relations, social investments, crisis communication, and issues management that are seen as purely public relations functions. Whereas in the middle there, we have image assessment, media strategy, corporate advertising, relationship marketing, direct mail, branding, sponsorships, and promotions that can be seen as both marketing and public relations activities. The relationship between the Public Relations Department and legal counsel in organisations is mirrored by the tension between the courts of public opinion and the law. While public relations is motivated by open and two-way communication to build relationships and win votes in the court of public opinion, this openness is sometimes seen as a liability. A legal solution to a problem may be a preferred route for some members of society, and public relations practitioners may find themselves arguing with lawyers about the appropriate level of disclosure, particularly in times of crisis. As a result, it is important for public relations practitioners and lawyers to work together. Common ground between the two professions is that both are important in a crisis and both should be involved early. Unified by mutual interest in employees, the relationship between public relations and human resources is important. They must have strong working relationships during day-to-day operations and crises. Structural and personnel changes such as job cuts, plant closures, or organisational restructures are accepted organisational behaviours. They still impact the share market and the morale of employees.
In summary, public relations departments operate alongside others, including marketing, human resources, legal, research and development, and operations. The role of public relations in strategic decision-making is determined by its proximity and access to management. The Excellence Study suggests the need for public relations to be in the dominant coalition, as this strategic positioning benefits the organisation and profession of public relations.